Hi, I'm Russell White from Driver Safety Australia and welcome to this month's road safety tip. Our topic this time is the issue of tyres. Now, it'd be fair to say that most people don't really appreciate just how critical these things are to your safety. So let's have a look at a few basic things to ensure that you're looking after your tyres so that they can look after you. The thing to remember is that no matter how good the car you're driving is, ultimately its performance will be dictated from the grip the tyres provide. It's also important to remember that under each corner of the car you've literally only got a patch about the size of your hand where the rubber is actually meeting the road. And we ask a lot of those 4 tyre contact patches, so it's absolutely essential that you look after the tyre. The first step in that is to make sure that the tyre pressures are correct. The correct pressures for your car can be found on the car's tyre plaque. Now, this plaque could be positioned on the inside of the door, could be in the glove box or even in the owner's manual. Now, if you can't find the right pressures for your tyres, see your local dealer or your local tyre professional. It's important to remember that these tyre pressures need to be checked on a weekly basis. Unfortunately, the tyre won't consistently hold air, so it's important that we do keep a regular check on that. Weekly is ideal. In fact, every time you get fuel, it's a good idea to head to the pump and just double check the air pressure. Now, unfortunately, some of the gauges in service stations aren't looked after or as well maintained as we'd like. So whilst you can use the air from the service station, it's also a very good idea to get your own gauge and check the pressures with your own gauge. Another important point to remember is to check the tyre pressures when the tyre is cold. If you've been on the road for a while, the tyres will obviously heat up and could have a higher reading than what you'd expect. So be sure to check the tyre pressures when the tyres are cold. As we've already mentioned, the tyre plaque will give you the correct inflation rates for your tyre. It's important that you stick to those. If the tyre is underinflated, the sidewalls will flex and that can lead to the tyre heating up and actually lead to tyre failure. It's also going to mean that the tyre tread isn't going to sit on the road surface efficiently and can wear the tyre out prematurely. The other problem that you've got is if you overinflate the tyre, you can literally raise the tread up off the road surface and create a crown on the tyre, and clearly that's going to wear out the tread in the middle part of the tyre. It's also critical to make sure that the tyres are balanced and aligned properly. The last thing you want to be doing is ripping off kilometres and dollars worth of tread simply because the wheels aren't balanced properly. So if you've got any sign that the wheel balance isn't right, and that could be a vibration in the steering, for example, get the tyre checked and balanced as quickly as you possibly can. Again, you want to maximise the life of these tyres as much as possible. It's also important that we look after the tread pattern itself. If it never rained, we could get away with using slick tyres just like they do on a race car, where it's 100% rubber to pavement contact patch. But unfortunately, we've got to deal with all sorts of adverse conditions. And the tread channels, like we see here, are designed to try and push the water away to ensure the rubber actually meets the road. Now, it can't do that if those tread channels aren't deep enough. So it leads to the next question of how much tread is enough. The easy way to check this out is by looking at the wear bars on the tyre tread itself. You'll see there's a number of small arrows located around the edge of this tyre, and each one of these arrows point directly to where the wear bars are on the tread itself. Now, once the tread gets down level with that wear bar, it's time to replace the tyre. Now, while we've spoken about the 4 main tyres on the car, there is one more you need to check that often falls into the out of sight, out of mind category. Now, of course, the tyre I was referring to was the spare. Now, whether it's in the boot, underneath the car, or in this particular case located in the cargo section, we need to make sure that this tyre is checked on a regular basis as well. Otherwise, you might find when you get a puncture and you go to replace it with this tyre, it could actually be as flat as the one you're trying to replace. So always make sure you check this one as well. Whilst we're on this subject, this car is fitted with a Space Saver tyre. These Space Saver wheels are only designed to get you out of trouble. They're not meant for prolonged use or consistent highway speed. So the idea is if you've fitted one of these, to simply use it to get to your service centre to get your full-size tyre repaired. So it's as simple as that. Just check your tyre pressures on a regular basis, don't forget the spare, and be sure to make sure your tyres are properly balanced and aligned. Until next time, drive safely.